ụlọ nsọ gị Chukwu ka anyị na-abata, bịakwute ya bịa zuru ike. Anya bịawa ịsọpụrụ gị ugbu a, bịakwute ya bịa zuru ike. Bịa o bịakwute ya, bịakwute ya, bịakwute ya bịa zuru ike. Bịa o bịakwute ya, bịa o bịakwute ya, bịakwute ya bịa zuru ike. Chukwu nna n'ụlọ gị ka anyị na-akpọ gị, bịakwute ya bịa zuru ike. Otito na-adịrị gị mgbe niile, bịakwute ya bịa zuru ike. Bịa o bịakwute ya, bịakwute ya, bịakwute ya bịa zuru ike. Bịa o bịakwute ya, bịa o bịakwute ya, bịakwute ya bịa zuru ike.
Otito niile dịrị Chineke, Chidi ebere, ọbọsị dị elu, Chukwu obiọma, tụzụ anyị niile bụrụ ihe, ka ihe ọbụla kpatara aka ọ bụrụkwa ahụ sọ mma mma. Tụwa niile sitere ozi ọma anya nwa obi aṅụrị site ugbu a ruo mgbe niile ebighị ebi. Ọfọ ya gazie ise. All praises to God, God the magnificent with grace. May every way of our lives be light. May all our acts be crowned with good. And may the world prosper through our ministry, now and forever. Amen. So let it be.
Ndewo.
Ndewo. Okay, Divya.
Ndewo. Imare. Happy New Year.
Yes. 2025.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Many did not see this day, but here we are. Is that celebration? This is cause for celebration. I am so grateful to Chineke. Thank you for your wonderful prayer. Thank you, everyone. Welcome, welcome. This is a new attitude you can see from us today, because you know what? Many people didn't see this day. I am walking amongst the living. Chineke noya, Chineke mwaya. Chineke is awake, looking and just showering us with blessings. And I'm hoping that the same thing is happening for you today, wherever you are.
Yes.
Welcome to Theism Live. Dibia Ochoazia, my co-host, has prayed, and we certainly grateful. You know, when you talk about what do you pray for, you know, what do you pray for? We already have it though. Life. Ndo. Yes, we say Ndewo. Ndo. Dibia Dozie was supposed to break the kola nuts and you know, do the libations, but I'm going to do the libations because that's important as we welcome this wonderful new year, you know. But first of all, I want to thank everyone for welcoming us into your homes wherever you are. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. You know what? We want to get to 1,000. Not 1,000. Let me take that back. 10,000 this year. 10,000 subscribers.
You say.
And it starts with you. Wherever you are, if you're joining us today, right now at the moment, or you're going to join us later on somehow, somewhere, just remember to please subscribe to our channel. You see, we can only grow when we get your support, your subscription for this channel. I mean, and for that matter, we need to know that you appreciate what we do. That's your subscription is saying that you appreciate what we do. And then, you know, so we're able to let you know every single week, you know, what we're doing. All glory to Chineke and the ancestors that we have experienced this new year. And our gratitude to the founder of Judaism, Godianism, Godian religion. We don't get any greater than that. For reminding us that from us to Chineke, there's no distance. From us to Chineke, there's no. You don't understand the power behind that.
Yep. When
you know that you got the power, the ultimate power, I mean, that keeps me going. Anytime that certain things happen, you know, and here's the good news about being connected to Chineke. You may not even realize that you are, but certain things just happen and make you realize that Chineke is right there.
Yeah.
But before I talk about that, I just want to say happy Ekuroche. Also, this is the month of Ekuroche, the 13th through the 17th, 13th of December through the 17th. And we had this wonderful Kwanzaa celebration and Ekuroche, the festival of Ekuroche. And, you know, if you want to really be who you are, you're going to have to celebrate who you are. By celebrating Kwanzaa, we're celebrating who we are. Celebrating Ekuroche, we're celebrating who we are. Now, there are African nations all over the world celebrating different things.
Yes.
Celebrating different things. And it's okay. It's good. They're celebrating who they are. So I'm going to pour libations this morning, and I'm going to focus on what we celebrated, what we have brought into this new year. I remember when we were children, Mom would take us, we usually will be in the village usually, and my mother will get a pot and pan. Remember that? You were so little.
Yeah.
And she'll be running around the building because this is what they used to do. She'll be running around the building and she'll be saying, Abakulo. I will be following her. We're all holding her around the waist. We're running behind her. And she says, Ihojo Abakulo. Ihojo. And Ishawa Abakulo. And that is, she's not talking about what we want in the new year. She's saying what we don't want to take into the new year with us. So all the evil, all the bad things go behind us.
Yeah.
We are not embracing it this year. Everything, Abakulo, don't come with us. So this is what it is for us now. Anything that went wrong last year, Abakulo, we don't want it. It's not coming with us. We don't want it. Don't even want to know, don't want to refer back to it. Abakulo. If you lost somebody last year, Abakulo, it's not going to happen this year. Our sister Daniel Williams, unfortunately, lost her uncle today. And she's obviously very, very sad about that. But I want her to know that her uncle is on his journey. Look for him in the new birth in the family, because he's coming back. Look for him somewhere. If he has any marks on him, check out the new birth in your family. You will find him, because he didn't make it to the age of 80. So we know he's still on his journey. So look for him. He's coming back. Remember all the good times and wish him more good times as he continues on his journey. So, Mamano, unity. This is what we're looking for in this new year. He said, that's what we need this year. Peace. Peace in the family, peace with our friends, peace in the community, peace in our nation. That's what we are asking the ancestors, Chineke and the ancestors, to bless us with this new year. He say, find your worth. Find your worth. Discern for yourself who you're going to be this year. It is not up to anybody but you. Believe it or not, there's going to be a whole lot of people that are going to tell you, you can do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't do that. But understand something. Yes, you can. If you determine. So self-determination, Chineke ka anyị na-arịọ gị, nyere nwaanyị aka. That's what we're looking for this coming year. You say?
Oh.
We are asking for all of us to look at each other, reach out to each other, and understand that we are in this battle, whatever that battle may be, together. As long as we share the same air, breathe the same air, experience the same nature, we are in this together. So we ask for our collective healing. The ancestors, Chineke, collective healing. That's what we need this year. And if you have a craft, and you know your neighbor has a craft, this is the year that we reach out to each other and support each other so we can get rich together. Huh?
Yep.
Somebody say. Well, nobody's an island. I personally, if I have it, I want my friends to have it too. Because you see, if my friends have it, they don't beg for my money. They got their own money.
That's true. That's
so, you know, I want
yes, that's true.
I want all my friends to make it this year. Absolutely. I want them to have everything they need. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Everybody, be blessed. Whatever your craft is, whatever it is you're doing, may it become fruitful, not just because of your own effort, but the collective effort of everybody giving you support. He say, I want us to each remember that our purpose in this life, Chineke, Biko, remind us, it's not just to breathe air, you know?
Yes.
It's to make a difference, even help other people breathe air.
That's it.
You know, the people say, why? Why did Chineke put me in here? Why am I going to eventually someday become an ancestor? What is my purpose? Why am I here? We're not just here, believe it or not, we're not just here to inhale and exhale and, you know, and act crazy and do stupid stuff.
Yeah, we all have a purpose because we affect someone's lives. Yeah, one way or another, we affect each other's lives. So we do have a purpose.
He said this is the vibrations of today. Remember who you are. Who remember from whose womb you came from. Who's your father? Who's your mother? Who's your community? What is the purpose? How do you uplift them?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That'll help us to understand why we're here. You say, destiny is already baked in our hands.
Yeah.
We have something to give to the whole. Don't hold it back. You say, don't hold back what you can give to the community, to the family, to help us excel. And as I end with this libations, I just want to say, remember that all of us are instruments of Chineke's love. We are born by love of our parents and bred by grace. Chineke's grace. Let us have faith in each other. Let us support. Let this year be the year that we support each other. Chineke, be kind.
You say.
Our statesman, elder statesman has arrived. I want to add him to the queue and wish him Happy New Year. I don't see your picture though.
Happy New Year!
Happy New
Year!
Happy New Year! Happy New Year!
Dear children,
you know something. You know something. I want to steal your background and transpose them behind here.
I can send it to you. It's not a problem. I'll send it to you if you want it.
Please, I do. I do. So that maybe I will make picture of it, enlarge it, and put it at
I'm gonna hook up one for the three of us. I'm gonna create one for the three of
do
us.
that.
That is gonna be perfect as a background for a show. I'm gonna do it.
Yes.
And I will come up with
we need it. I'll call those boys to do the enlargement and put it on a picture, police something. Okay. So that one I just hang it there. And so
I will create and send to three of you, and you can.
He said, Happy New Year, Dibia. Happy New Year. Thank you so much for joining us for our Kwanzaa celebration and pouring the libations for us. And we're hoping that everything that we asked last year is going to follow us into this year. The positive things, and not the negative things. You know, I did mention earlier that our dear friend Danielle is lost her uncle this morning. So she's in a very sad place. So let us keep her in our prayers. Let us keep her in our prayers. Chineke anola. That's right. So thank you. You know, into those today, we are speaking of UD. Give that title again.
Hold a second. I keep
we're speaking of something I think that's so important.
I was moving. You know, okay, here we go. It's the illusion of ownership.
Yes. Yeah. Illusion of ownership. You get that? Illusion of ownership. And what are we talking about here?
Embracing shared existence.
Yes, embracing our shared existence.
Yes.
There's a song my mother used to sing. You know, my mother was always a singer. You know, when she's working, she's singing because music is good for the spirit. And so she's always singing, you know. And this song captures what we're talking about today. Onye nwuwae, uwadi onye nweyane. Adige nwuwe nwo obume nwori ya. Onye nwuwae, uwadi onye nweyane.
All over.
Yes. Nobody owns this world.
Yeah.
Because if anybody can own the world, so can I. Nobody has more right to own the world than I do. But nobody can own the world. It's a shared experience that we must. This is our African spirituality.
Yeah.
We don't grab for ourselves. We build for the whole, and the whole rises together.
That's true.
And when we rise together, you say it all the time. If you ball your hands, you can knock out.
Yeah, true.
Oh yeah. That is our spirituality, collectivity, working as a collective. You see, because when you work as an individual, when you leave this earth, then everything you did goes away. For the most part, a lot of things, people don't even remember you, but people always remember what they did with you, how you made them feel.
Yeah.
That's why African spirituality is focused on Ayende, not Gilway. Ayende.
Oh yeah, Ayende. Make one again.
You don't. When we went to battle, we didn't say, "Oh, here's the leader." When I say, "I had a somebody," hey, Mobugure Kemo, hear what I'm saying. All of us. Because collectively we are not scared of nothing.
Yeah. Collectively we're powerful.
Not the big snake, not nothing. If we do things together, that's African spirituality. No individuality. That is not to say that individual things are not, objectives should not be pursued. That's not the point. But the point of the matter is that for you to be very successful, you have to also see who's coming with you. I say, I'm using all these African proverbs because it's real. That's how we operate. Let's go. Don't be afraid. That's what the song is saying. But in today's world, many individuals mistakenly believe that their wealth or their race grants them ownership over this world. And they can treat people however they want to treat them because of this assumption. I'm bigger than you. I'm better than you. Because of that, but I have more right to be here. That's not how we think. That's not African spirituality. The truth is that nobody, that song that I just sang, nobody owns the world. It belongs to every one of us. That is our attitude. Because sometimes what happens, we think that when we make it, then we have to go and join those people who have made it. Instead of understanding, okay, wherever I'm at, those around me, I can help build them up. And wow, how powerful. My area is built up. Instead of me chasing those who have already made it, let me be the reason that my people, my community grows. Understanding that everybody has a right to enjoy this thing called nature, world. Regardless of our financial status, we all receive the blessings of the divine from our respective corners of the world. Actually, today I may be poor. Today I may be poor. Tomorrow I may be rich. They're even richer than you. How many of you have? How many days ago somebody won $1 billion? He didn't have money, but today he's richer than the millionaires. He's a billionaire. It took one day. No condition is permanent. Everything in this world is available to make better, and we also have the opportunity to make other people better. Now, I can tell you this: some people may own small pieces of land that they paid money for, and the trees upon that land. Okay, all right, I give you that. But no one can claim ownership of all the trees in the world, all the air, all the water. You can't, because you cannot own this world. So you have to, as a be modest, be grateful for what you do have, but give room for other people. The natural elements in their vastness are shared by all. That is African spirituality, shared by all. Now, this is what they call primitivity. Look, if primitivity means, you remember UD Ahain went to the United Nations and told them we have to redefine civilization.
Yep.
Civilization is not about having economic opulence or technological know-how. It is about your ability to live peacefully with your fellow man without bitterness, and give your fellow man dignity in your relationship with them. And so we need to redefine it to state that you are a civilized country if you know how to live with your neighbors without going to war. Because this world belongs to us. Understanding this is the fundamental truth that helps to foster peace in African traditions, African spirituality. Tell me when Africans went to war because of religion. Tell me. Raise your hand. You find it in the history. No, we may go to war for something else, but not because of religion. Because in our spirit, we believe we share this world, and to understand that, we must foster peace.
Yep.
Sharing and understanding that sharing is important is part of peace. You can't have peace when you're out there bombing, killing, just so you can get a piece of land that your ancestors did not develop. If I hunde kporo na kpe oku udokoro, you jobomoga. You're talking nonsense. If you think that your power lies in your ability to go and kill and steal, there's no power in that. Now, I'm just going to share this, and then I'll invite you guys to say something. There's an example that comes to mind of an incident involving an elderly black woman in a first-class airplane. The gentleman next to him, next to her, this is not a racist thing. This is just the way it happened. The rich gentleman, feeling superior due to his wealth, obviously he can sit in first class. He refused to sit next to this woman, saying that she was too black and too ugly. Now, this older woman, the family have bought her first class so that she can come home for Thanksgiving. But he didn't want to sit next to her. She didn't want to do that. He said she had to leave first class because he paid a lot of money for that space. You know, this is his world. He's rich. So he wanted them to kick her out of first class because she's too black and too ugly. And he didn't want, you know, his space violated by such a woman. Well, she's an old woman, and she just looked at him like, you know, sometimes age obviously comes with wisdom. And she says, you know, this is not my battle. I'm not going to fight you. I pick and choose my battle. But he was feeling very superior, and he was making so much noise that they had to get the pilot to come and speak to because the air hostesses could not calm him down. He wanted this woman gone. So when the pilot came, the pilot wanted to know what was the problem. He says, well, you know, he paid all this money and this woman and she smells, and I don't think I should sit next to her. The pilot said, okay, very well. It is your right not to sit with her. So we're going to move you. No, I think you should move her. He said, no. She doesn't have any problem sitting with you. She understands that she has to share this space, but you don't. So it's you we have to move out so we can find you where you'll be comfortable. So you know, he said, okay, fine. So he got up, you know, rudely pushed her aside and got onto the aisle. And then he said he's looking at the first class to see if there's an empty space. They told him, oh, there's no empty space in first class. So we're going to have to take you to coach. They moved him from first class to coach. And coach, where he had to sit between, you know, the middle seat.
Yeah.
That was the only thing available. He's making all this noise. He doesn't deserve to sit there. He would like to sit next to that woman to get his own space back. They told him no, because she deserves peace. So when you think you own the world because of some wealth or whatever it is that you have, that you think you're more important than others, there's something called boomerang. They'll come and hit you, and you will be shocked that what you want for other people may be flung right back at you, and you will not be very happy with the outcome. So anyway, that's just my little take coming into this conversation. And Yudi, I want to hear your take.
Well, you've said a mouthful. I don't even know how I'm going to top that. So I'm just going to kind of feed off what you're saying, and then also feed off what's going on in our chats. And also just my take on some things that you had mentioned. And the first thing that I want to kind of talk about, or at least start segue into what my take on the subject is when you talked about Obaja, going to the United Nations and redefining civilization. And I'm going to read you his definition, word for word. The true definition of civilization is not technological know-how or economic opulence, but when two people can see eye to eye, tolerate each other, and defend to death the right of the other to survive. Therein lies the true definition of civilized behavior. I say okay on your. Now, when you dialogue with your friends, your partners, your family members, and people that you know, and you feel that they're getting out of line, they're not conducting themselves appropriately, and you say, act civilized. What are you saying? It means straighten up, act right, do the right thing, act like you have some kind of social training, like you have some kind of morals, like you're a decent human being. That's what you talk about. When you tell somebody to act civilized, you don't tell them to act civilized and then they proceed to pull out a gun and shoot you. Or they fly over with a jet plane and bomb the hell out of you.
Yes.
That's not civilized behavior. That's violence. It's not even an animal behavior, because animals only engage in violence for basic reasons.
Yes.
Find something to eat and to protect the pride or the clan.
Yes.
Or the herd, whatever it is. That's it. Other than that, you don't see anybody, you don't see a lion deciding, you know what, I'm going over to this lion's territory to go take over. They will do it. But that's because that's how they regenerate themselves. The lion goes in, takes the male lion out of there, then gets rid of all the babies, and then sears his own. And they continue. Violence in the animal world is an imperative for survival. Not for us. Because I've never seen a dog or a lion go to church. Maybe they pray in their own language. Maybe when they growl, they're talking to God. I don't know that. But I know that the only animal with the ability to create things, go to church, believe in a God, and do everything to structure a society based on those spiritual or religious beliefs. We're the only ones that do it. Civilized behavior simply means that you need to understand that unity is imperative for the survival of the world at large, just not our own community, but for the world at large. Unity means that we understand that we have to take care of our environment. And taking care of our environment is not just about taking care of trees or the fish or the land or the air that we breathe. Taking care of the environment also includes the animals in that environment, and animals in that environment include human beings.
Yes.
We have to take care of each other to be able to enjoy this thing called life and the world that God has made bountiful for all of us. Now, I was looking at some of the comments, and a gentleman had made a comment. I'm going to mention his name or anything like that. But he has said something about Jesus is Lord over Africa, as of the whole world, and of the entire universe. What is relevant is not tradition, but what is true. So whoever this gentleman is practicing what we call in Chiism, or when we try to explain Pan-Africanism, we say, you are preaching exclusive truth, my way or the highway. You own the truth. Truth doesn't belong to anybody else, but it only belongs to those people that profess your truth, regardless of how young or old that truth is. Because the truth can only start from the beginning, nowhere in between. The truth does not lie in the culture and the traditions that develop after the first principle. Humans develop cultures and traditions to deal with their environment and their survival as a species, as a people. But at the same time, constant conflict creates chaos. It rumples social harmony. Exclusive truth is a killer. Exclusive truth in religion or spirituality is not what the definition of civilization is all about. You don't have to consider me a civilized person simply because I'm a Muslim and because the Muslims dominate.
Yes.
You don't have to define me as being civilized because I'm a Christian, because Christianity dominates. Don't define me as civilized because I'm a Buddhist, because Buddhism is dominating. Define me as a human being, a contributing member to the human community who is as precious as a resource as you are. And that anything that affects me living in peace, dealing with my akaraka,
yes,
dealing with my ikenga that leads me to my akaraka, to my destiny, which every human being has. We all have a journey. We all have a purpose. Some small, some big. Some of them we don't even see. Some of them we think it's not relevant. You see the little gnat, the fly, it bothers you. You're knocking it off. You're going nuts. Even the mosquito giving you malaria has a purpose. And its purpose is to reduce human population by being the #1 deadliest disease in the world. And by the way, you could get malaria in South America, you could get it in Asia, and you could get it in Africa. The only place you can't get malaria is where it snows, because mosquitoes don't exist there. But the point I'm trying to make is nobody owns the truth. And as long as we journey through life thinking that there's something more special about us than the next person, as long as we journey through life thinking that the next person is not as relevant as we are, as long as we go through life thinking that the fly is more important than the bee, or that the bee is more important than the gnat, or that the lion is more important than the tiger, or the tiger is more important than the elephant, once we start that journey, it's only going to spell chaos, doom, death, wars that we will never come out of. So let's love one another, because to be honest with you, that's really what spirituality is about. That's the real definition of religion. Living love and preaching love. And any religion that does not live love and preach love is no religion at all. So you think about that, regardless of what it is that which religion that your spirituality that you profess, just think about that. If you're not promoting love and living it, you're not practicing the right spirituality.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I just, before I bring the Dibia Chedozi, I just want to make a little comment for this gentleman, this white gentleman. It is important that he understands that his reality is not my reality. I exist in my own environment, and so I celebrate my environment, just as he has the right to celebrate his environment. He can believe whatever he wants to believe, and that's okay. Kudos, kudos, kudos.
Yeah.
But you can't tell me that your truth is my truth.
Yeah.
No, because not my experience. See, what he's saying highlights the broader issue. Yes. And I'm sure Dibia Chezoja is going to address that. The notion that one's belief in life elevates you over someone else's belief is exactly what this topic is about.
Yep.
It's misplaced. What we're trying to do here is to encourage you to come here and learn something different, because African spirituality is not always taught. It's always been looked down upon, and unfortunately, we have aided that by abandoning it. And what is it? What is it that African spirituality is trying to say? What are we trying to say today? From us to Chineke, there's no distance. Nobody owns this world. And that means we have to respect. I respect him for being a part of this world.
Yeah.
But he has to respect me.
Thank you.
And what my ancestors fed me. What he's sharing here is what his ancestors fed him.
Yeah.
And that's cool. That's okay. That's what you believe. But what we're trying to say is it's okay to believe that if you give other people the same courtesy.
Thank you.
to believe what they believe, because your experience is not mine.
He said,
Jesus never ate fufu.
Hey.
Didn't eat jollof rice. This is what my ancestors ate.
Yes.
So that's relevant in my life. But yours may be relevant to you. We're not here to say that Jesus is not Jesus is your truth. And that's okay. Not my truth, but your truth. But if I can accept that that's your truth, you have to be willing to accept my truth. And that is from me to the Creator. There is no distance. I am connected. I don't have to pass through any medium. You have to pass through the medium, and that medium is Jesus. And that's okay. If that works for you, if that makes you a good human being in this world, Ashe, you say, oh, but what makes me who I am, that makes me want to respect you for who you are, is what I embrace. Theism, connection, honoring my ancestors, honoring my Chineke, honoring my family, believing in collective work, and understanding that nature plays a role in everything that we do, and that we share this nature together. That's what we're talking about today. All right? We all face the same fate, my brother. In the end, we all return to the earth, becoming nourishment for other forms of life.
True that.
Nobody is buried in the sky.
Nope.
Everybody will return to Allah.
All day long.
If you're rich or you're not rich, it will be that you'll be food for bugs.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter what you believe in, doesn't matter what your race is. What matters is that every person has equal right to exist in this world. That's what we're talking about. When you move, being spiritually and morally bankrupt is the true mark of those who believe they are superior to others. Let it be said. I'm telling you today, my brother, think about what you believe. Disregarding the intrinsic worth of everybody's spiritual philosophy makes you bankrupt morally. So think about that. Come in here, we welcome you. Matter of fact, we want to hear what you got to say. That's cool. We're happy.
Cool.
If it makes you a good human being, listen, we will soldier with you.
True.
But if it makes you, whatever you believe makes you put people down, I'm not for that. I'm not for that. Dozie, your turn.
Yeah, I love what our gentle friend posted. And that reminds me exactly those things we discuss in our philosophy lectures. The whole of Western tradition can be reduced to two. The classical traditional Western thought of monism, absolutism, that leads to reductionism. Whatever does not fall within my purview of truth is not truth. And so for them, they are always looking for one eternal, unchangeable truth. And to that truth, everything must bow. It is a tradition common with the Caucasians and the Semites. You'll find it in Judaism, you'll find it in Christianity, you'll find it in Islam. You'll find it in Islam. All these are classified under one religious umbrella known as henotheism, extreme absolutism. Islam represents that in its highest form. And that's why for Islam, after Muhammad, no further revelation. Any form of revelation stops with Muhammad. That's what Islam connotes. And that's why they say Muhammad is the last prophet of Allah. And the Quran should not be changed. Nothing about it should be touched. It should remain in the form it was revealed to Muhammad in the 7th century. Now, much of this orientation in the West has caused a lot of damage. It led to the papacy executing those who had contrary views to what the religious fathers have stated. People like Kepler were wasted. The likes of Galileo were smart to accept what the church stated, but went on with their researches. And Galileo wondered that if they refused to look through his telescope to know that there are other worlds beyond our own world, is left to their own foolery. But Galileo, was sure of what he was saying. Now, so all of that, and then we looked at the Europe moved from the extreme of religion, one God for everybody, moved to the extreme of science. Reason was extolled. And under the regime of absolute reason, which Kant called pure reason, and Hegel's the absolute spirit, those philosophies gave birth to the First and Second World War and all forms of totalitarianism. And so from about the end of the 19th century to the 20th century and up to today, movements like phenomenology and postmodernism began. These movements began to query traditional philosophies. And one thing they took to the cleaners is a question of absolute truth, the truth. Christ is the way. And people tell me that the New Testament is a new version, the New Testament has a new approach. And I ask, what is the difference between I am that I am? I am a jealous God. Thou shalt not have any other God but me. What's the difference between that and I am the truth, the way, I am the way, the truth, and the light? No one, absolute no one, cometh to the Father except through me. Now, what this means does not mean that there's one God. It only means that there's only one way to one God.
Mm.
That's a difference between us as theists and Christians and henotheic religions who believe in only one absolute way to one God. Now, if there's only one religion of that tradition, the world will be peaceful. But when you have two contesting religions, two elephants fighting for space, the grass is bound to suffer. That is why, since the rise of Mohammedanism, the world has always been a contest between Islam and Christianity.
Fight over exclusive truth.
Because what they are stating is not that there's one God. What they are saying is that there's only one way, and that way, no way is superior to it. And that way is the truth for them. And it's what is shoved down the neck of everybody. And so, one way of getting that truth down your throat is to say your culture does not matter. What matters is the truth. But what the gentleman forgets is that once accept your truth, it grew and germinated in a culture of accepting one way to God. If I accept it into my own world, it destroys my communalism.
Thank you.
So today in postmodernism, that way of speaking, the traditional Western way of speaking, whether it is in religion, in capitalism, in liberal economy, if you accept capitalism, you must accept democracy. There's no other form of government but democracy. Election must be the center point. Whether the election is kakistocracy, ochlocracy, or whatever crazy, or is a demonstration of craze or crazy demonstration, it doesn't matter. What matters is election. Whether that election is manipulation or selection, it doesn't matter. There must be election. That's the only criterion. And it must be liberal economy. You must leave your backyard open. So if I'm a beautiful woman, like we Africans are beautiful women, we must let our women get loose. They must not wear bra. They must get nude and all of that. So liberalism, you must liberalize your economy. So all of these is a show of monism. And if you don't do that, they begin to harangue you like a hyena. They put sanctions on you. And so that in the new tradition of Western philosophy called phenomenology that has been taken to the highest realm by postmodernism. The tradition of the absolute truth has been under consistent attack. So under postmodernism, the traditional way of talking is referred to as the interminable way of speaking. Speaking without listening to others. Speaking without letting others speak. Speaking without knowing that others have the right to speak and they have their own truth. So in postmodernism, the position in postmodernism today is that truth is perspectival. You have your truth, yes. We have our truth. And that is why the man that built phenomenology into a consistent system of philosophy brought a new dimension to epistemology. Before him, Edmund Husserl, German Jew, epistemology was about seeing the absolute truth. So Kant to talk about purism. Descartes to talk about the I, the cogito. I think, therefore I am. And so every person was talking about how to see the absolute truth. And once you see the absolute truth in philosophy, Husserl says that absolute truth cannot be seen by one individual. That absolute truth must be seen by individuals. And that's how he brought the concept of intersubjectivity. Because the absolute truth is seen by one man. Christ having an experience on Mount Horeb is one man. No matter how godly he was one man. Muhammad's experience was one man.
Yep.
Buddha's experience was one man. I've told of my own experience
on
this platform so many times. I don't think that my experience, anybody in the Bible had it. Yep. And I can claim it's superior to any other person's experience in the Bible or Quran.
And then go about killing.
But I attained the realization that it was only I that saw that experience.
Yes.
And it only captures one aspect, one perspective. So Edmund Husserl came and said, it has to be intersubjectivity, agreeing, disagreeing to agree. Then Martin Heidegger, another German Jew, came and said, even that intersubjectivity has to be taken beyond the realm of experts, like experts in cheese. We must take it beyond that level to a social level, whereby truth must be sought out by people of different cultures and tradition meeting. So that when we accept that the truth, this is true, it will be true for as many people as possible, due to agreement, not due to imposition. That's one aspect. Heidegger went further to state that even that truth that we have accepted is not the truth for the whole of generations to come. It's the truth for us, for that generation or for that period. Then Karl Popper, an Austrian philosopher, came and said, look, looking for absolute truth in philosophy, and whereby philosophy is the foundation of technology and science, is a religious hangover of monism, absolutism, looking for eternal truth. That science is epistemology, is asking questions on the existing tradition, trying to discover the truth. So if you are to discover the truth always, it means that the truth you have discovered now will not be the truth the next moment.
Right.
So then he now went further to say that means any truth that must be epistemological, philosophical, and therefore scientific must be falsifiable. So if truth must be falsifiable, then there can't be the truth. And so that is why you find that in science, your discovery can be made nonsense of the next moment. Just like you said, somebody was poor yesterday, but he or she was working at something, and that thing gelled, and it gave him $1 billion. Which if you change to Naira, that is 180 billion Naira.
That's a lot of dope.
Yes.
That's what he wants.
180 billion. That's about 1.8 trillion naira. So you see, this argument has been there. But the truth of the matter is that the person preaching to us about the absolute truth has not gone through these philosophies. A lot of them are still hanging on the old philosophies. Meanwhile, Western philosophy has gone beyond that. However, like I wrote in my thesis, when I was doing my PhD thesis, I said, us Africans must take the phenomenological and postmodern crusade with a pinch of the salt. Why? Because the position that postmodernists and phenomenologists and existentialists in Europe arrived at from the 19th century to the 20th century to the 21st century had always been the tradition and culture of us Africans. We had always known that Amamuhe Boka Okohia. We had always known that Agwo Tonya Horonaoeke, that before you can ascertain the truth, or even truth, not the truth, before you can ascertain truth, it must be perspectival. It must be something that other people had come into it and looked into it. And these people must be experts in that knowledge of the truth.
Yes.
Which is why he say, if you go, Ijakuru Dibe, Yabara Gafa, Dagakukwe Dibe also, because the interpretation of the Afa you have, Afa Ibara, the divination you have done, the interpretation is perspectival. My understanding, yes, it gives a structure, but my interpretation of that structure is not absolute. And that happens with what you call a biblical exegesis. Interpretation of Bible verses is not absolute. Though the Catholic Church and the Orthodox churches try to make it absolute. But the Pentecostal churches have shown that it's not absolute. So that on Sunday, when I was still discovering myself, on Sundays, I don't go to church. I move from one television station to another, listening to different pastors. And I've encountered in a particular Sunday, some 10, 15 years ago, where different pastors quoted, about 7 pastors, different churches, quoted the same verse and gave different interpretations. And I took that, and I took that to query my Catholic father. I said, no, those ones are confused. This is how you should be. I said, now this way must look at it. And I told you, I said, come, this is the freedom of the mind. You do not tell me how to interpret. Yes. I have to interpret according to my own experience and level of realization. But by telling me this is how I must see it, you are retarding and abusing my personality. So I can continue on and on. I will Kambo and Kenke Otua for now.
Thank you. My brother. I think you just summarized, you and you just summarized it beautifully. You know, this gentleman, JVST, has a question. She says, so essentially, Chiism is more of a lifestyle, not necessarily a religion. It's an umbrella and a beacon for all Africans that can follow. At the same time, it's really emphasizing that we are not pagan. Well, let me just say that his interpretation is perfectly okay, because that's the whole idea.
Yeah.
You interpret life, even what we're saying, you can interpret in a way that it satisfies your curiosity. I can tell you something different, but to me, what's really important, Dibia Yudi and Dibia Chedozi, is how he perceives what we're saying.
Yeah.
Because within what he's saying is one very critical thing, that everybody has the right to exist through their own understanding. This is what we're about. You have the right to exist. I teach at the university level, I teach master's degree in organizational behavior and management. And one of the things I let my students know, everything we discussed today came from a book. It came from somebody's book. I'm going to test you on that book. All right? But if I test you on just that one book, you're not going to get an A. On the same topic, I want you to find an author that maybe has a different perspective on this topic, so that your knowledge is a little bit wider than just from one book. Because remember, when they say history, it's his story. The people who are telling the story, that is what they want you to know. So I don't want you to just know this story. I want you to know other stories as it relates to the same topic. In our spirituality, we prefer to use the word spirituality, ofufechi, as opposed to religion. The only reason why we may refer to religion is because religion is a collection of philosophical thought packaged to represent a particular way of doing things. But we prefer the spirituality because the spirituality is open. It allows you to go beyond your humanness, and enter the unlimited world of the spirit. That is what Judaism is about, to allow you to go beyond your humanness, to go beyond what society or people or communities believe that you are restricted to believe in. Because Chineke did not restrict us. And our ability to think for ourselves, to ask questions, to relish, go back to what our ancestors did, take what's good in it, apply it to where we are right now. That's what African spirituality is. It's the vastness of opportunity to learn, to be, and realizing that what I give myself, everybody else has the right to experience. If you come to my house, I may not cook okra soup. Yudi loves egusi. Every time he comes here, I'm cooking egusi soup. He's got me eating egusi every single doggone weekend. But here's the point. This is what he enjoys. This is when it comes to African food. That's what he loves. Of course, occasionally okra comes in. But the point of the matter is, we each have a way of relating to our well-being, food being interpersonal relationship with other people, being relationship with nature, everything. It's all diverse. It all depends on where you are, where you were cultivated. Even some food cultivated from a different land tastes different or looks different or even bigger. Some are small, some are big. It all depends on where you are. So we need to honor that. Jesus says, we honor you where you are because Chineke created you the way you are, where you are. I don't have the right to come behind Chineke and say, this one that you created here is no good. I beg, make you come follow me. No be so. You the animal.
Yeah.
So the only way I can have peace with my fellow man is to understand their experiences are different from mine. And the topic we're talking about today is understanding that because the world is so vast, we can live together in it, not claiming for ourselves. I'm reminded of a black nurse that was treated so badly that she stopped going to work. She went to work and this patient was appalled that this black nurse is going to treat him. How dare she step in here and think she can teach her? Where did she get her education? Or YouTube, drew a picture, sent her to make sure that she fully understood her place in this world, which is less than his place. He sent her a picture of her as a monkey. How dare you be with us humans? How dare you? You're just a monkey. You don't have the right to be a doctor. How dare you? And this woman is a doctor.
Yeah.
But she's not good enough because she doesn't look like him. See, this is what happens when your mentality tells you, just like Jose just said, when your mentality tells you it is your way or no way. That's when you can look down on people and decide how worthy they are as compared to you. Because you're better. You're just better because you're purple, green, or white, or whatever the heck color you are. We don't condone that. Now, the only time tears will come at you is when you tell us that our experiences don't matter. We want you to respect ours as you want us to respect yours. And collectively, if we can go around this world respecting others, we'll have a little bit more peace. There's too much fighting over prejudice. Thinking that other human beings are unworthy. You own more because of your color, because of your wealth. This is what, it doesn't matter the religion. It doesn't matter the religion, if I'm going to use the word religion. If your mindset tells you that you are better than anybody, whatever your religion preaches about love and peace, you're not going to practice that. So you can say that your religion is the religion, but if mentally you believe that the world belongs to you, you are not even paying attention to what your religion is saying about interpersonal relationships, about your relationship with your world. So what we're trying to do is just get people separated from the mindset of me, myself, and I am better. As a Black woman, I'm very proud to be Black. I don't sit around and wonder, wow, what will it be if I'm not a Black woman? I was raised as a Black woman. My experiences are African. Your experience, someone else's experience, a Jewish person's experience is different from mine. A German, an Asian, an Indian. Those are different experiences, some that I may never experience. But theirs is no less valuable than mine. And if I can acknowledge that, if I can embrace that, if I can support that, if I can support people where they are, and we just come together and just relish the diversity of humanity, we will have peace on earth. So this is what we're talking about today. Nobody owns the world. Nobody owns, I don't care what you've been told. Christian, Muslim, Zoroastrian, Buddhist, Taoist, Shiite, I don't care what your religion or your spirituality is. If somebody told you that your way is the only way, then they are wrong. What we're telling you is, if your way is your experience, is what your ancestors handed over to you, and you're using that way to do good and be a decent human being and allow other people in this world to express who they are as well, then your religion is okay. But if your religion is telling you that you are better because of wherever you came from on this part, the piece of earth where you came from, let us remember, and I'll go to DBIUD. Let us remember, we are just nothing but a little speck in the universe. Huh? Tiny little specks. There are people, there are other living beings that we don't even know. And if we believe that there's one God, do you think they're running around here reading the Bible? In Mars or wherever other beings are? You are just a speck in this whole universe. So embrace what you've got and learn from others. See what else is out there. See what else is out there. And that's why Dibia Yudi and Dibia Chedo is really, I think it's a tragedy when people don't travel outside of their neck of the woods. Yeah. You know, I think people should really leave now and then, just see what the world is. You'll be shocked that there's a bigger world out there than what you're used to. A whole bigger world out there.
And different.
Different. So sometimes we're so consumed by this, oh, we're just better, we're civilized. And yet we act like the most uncivilized people.
And forget the difference is what makes us.
That's what makes us powerful. And I said to my African people, I'm not here preaching to any other race or any other group. Right now, I'm preaching to my own brothers and sisters. Understand, you're good enough. Yes. You're good enough. Your experiences are good enough. We can come together and hold hands and thank the divine for our existence. However, we have been taught to acknowledge the existence of the divine. Some people call divine Chineke. Olodumare, Tamona, Jinyami, Katanda, Yemin Kosio, Uvizilele, Muari. I mean, different names. All of those are valid because the people are using their language to relate to the divine, their source of inspiration. That's what the divine is. And you are the temple of that divine energy. It's not bad. There's nothing wrong with it. As when you're what you believe, your not what I believe your God believes. It's my concept of Chineke, which is that we are connected from me to the divine. There is no distance. That means I can talk to Chineke when I want to. I don't have to pass through any medium. Some people pass through mediums, and that works for them. That's cool. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, what works is, hey, today I got to go pour libations and talk to my ancestors, or I have to talk to the divine directly without passing through any medium. That's spirituality. That's that vastness, that openness that's accessible to us through the power of our spirit. We just need to exercise it and not spend too much time trying to wonder which way is better. Dibia Yudi.
Woo! I don't know, man. Keeping up with you on Dibia this is becoming a very difficult show for me, because when I think I'm saying something important, here comes Chiadozie, then he gets up, here you come. And now I'm left just in awe of the both of you. But I'll leave that to the judges. I'm going to read something to our audience, and that would be a good segue to what I want to talk about, which is to address briefly JVST. Love his comment. Since the advent of organized religion, there has been traffic in the spiritual emancipation of humanity. The plight of the suffering has been used in the establishment of religious zealotry, which capitalizes on a person's desire to block the impact of their everyday suffering with the promise of a better afterlife. Mm-hmm. To that end, we have witnessed the extent that people will go to fulfill their spiritual freedom from all manner of pain. Some are pushed to all limits of personal sacrifice, as the suicidal religious zealots demonstrate in many religions today. All the suicide bombing and everything else. Many religions, unable to accept the fundamentals of religious live and let live, pursue a system of cohesion to bring people to accept and uphold their spiritual interpretation of Chineke, God's will, at the expense of the world's most spiritual vulnerable. In order to foster spiritual honesty, compassion, and love, Chiism propounds the right of everyone to worship God the way they understand best through free will, which is a natural psychological exercise and part of human evolution. Mm-hmm. Humanity will be better served when we can experience the joy of heaven here on earth before our spirits experience the heaven conjured up in the images described in our varied cultural interpretations when we enter the next existential plane. People, free your mind. I believe that every human being, consciously or unconsciously, looks up to something above him or her as their source of inspiration, and that something is the Almighty Chineke, the Almighty God. And I believe that every human being has a right to worship God in the way they understand best without bitterness. Now, here's what I want to point out to my people, and I'm going to address my people and humanity at large, really, because everybody's going to benefit from this information. Some are already benefiting from it. As a matter of fact, they're really benefiting from it. And it's affecting Africans, people in South America, the indigenous people, those people that were in their own corner of the world before somebody showed up on their shores with the Bible and Quran in tow. So let me say this to y'all. Although in Chiism, we believe that every human being has a right to worship Chineke in the way they understand best without bitterness. Here's what I want you all to consider. It's not really about being an individual anymore for people of African ancestry. It's about coming together, professing a spirituality. It's about having an umbrella like JVST had mentioned in his statement. Chiism is the umbrella that we propose to unify people of African ancestry under a common cultural focus. The Europeans are doing it under Christianity. The Arabs do it under Islam. The Japanese do it under Shintoism. The Chinese do it under Buddhism. The Indians do it under Hinduism and Sikhism. What about Africa? A people without a spiritual culture do not exist. When you talk about world religions, where does Africa fit in? Who hears about the contributions that we made to civilized behavior before the European came to our shores, or the Arab came to our shores with the Bible and the Quran in tow, before slavery and colonization? What were we doing? Did we know God? Were we blind? Did the name Chineke exist before the European came? The male and female essence of the Creator. Did the name Chiedozie exist before the European or the Arab came to Africa, enslaved the African, and colonized the African? Did the name Chukwudi exist? Chukwudi means in Igbo language, God exists. Was that in our language before the European came to Africa? What did the European or the Arab bring to the black man and woman in Africa that we didn't already have before they showed up? We knew God before they came. We had our own sciences. We had our DBS. We had our doctors. We had farming. We had pyramids. Not just the pyramids in Egypt. If you go to sub-Saharan Africa, go to the village of Abreba, 5 miles from my own hometown, all the way till 1931, they had what was called the Nsude Pyramids, a city of pyramids in West Africa. There's a whole lot hidden under archaeological digs that we haven't even gotten to. They have civilizations that have been recorded in South Africa, over 400,000 years old, before the migration to Europe, which happened 370,000 years ago. What is it about the African that wasn't great before the European or the Arab came with their religion? And why is it that we are so afraid to pump our chest and say, I am what I am by the grace of the Almighty God, and if you don't like it, let the door hit you, you know where? They're doing it to us. They shackled us, they put us in chains, they put us on the ship and brought us over here to South America, to the United States. Millions of Africans were taken away, treated like animals, told that they were uncivilized, forced into a religion that does not define who they are, is not a part of their history, a religion that was designed to take away your freedom.
Mm-hmm.
As you always tell me, okay, Dibia, Stephen Biko, you always reminded me, the greatest tool in the hands of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. They have our minds. Yes. And I'm not afraid to say it on this platform. It has to be said. They have our minds. And because they have our minds, we've forgotten that we had contributed to science, to architecture, yes, to philosophies, yes, to medicine, to farming, to every aspect of human endeavor. The African contributed to it. There are so many discoveries that are hidden from the African. The asphalt of the road that you drive your automobile on was discovered by a black man. The filament in a light bulb, laser eye surgery. Dr. Patricia Bath, are you studying that in school in Nigeria, in Ghana, or in Jamaica, let alone here in the United States? What about Vivian Johnson, open heart surgery at the Johns Hopkins University? Who talks about that? The first person to perform open heart surgery was a black man. Even in Africa right now, in the village, go to YouTube, you will find the videos. They do brain surgery without general anesthetics, and it's still going on today. You have people so good in sciences that they could call up the rain. Meanwhile, you're calling it voodoo, but it is science. It's not magic. But when we do something, our discoveries and things that we have contributed in sciences, in religion, in a lot of areas of human endeavor has been ridiculed, making us look like we are primitive, like we contributed nothing. And yet, even Pablo Picasso was painting African graphic art till he died. They borrow from you, they turn it into their own, and they bring it back to you. The idea of monotheism is African. The idea of one Chineke, of one God, is African. It's aborigine to us. It's part of our spiritual philosophy. There's only one God, and this particular God, there is no distance between me and God and Chineke. There is no middleman. I don't have to go through anybody to get anywhere with God. And in our spiritual philosophy, to promote unity, Madubuchi Beya, you are like God to your fellow human being, because most of your blessings, if not all of them, flow through somebody else. If you prayed for $100 bill to pay your light bill, that $100 didn't fall from the sky. Maybe I get on the phone and call OKDB and say, I need $100 to pay my light bill. I prayed about it this morning that Chineke will help me and bless me and help me pay this bill. I called OKDB and OKDB gave me the $100 to pay my bill. Chineke has blessed me through OKDB. Madubuchi Ibeya. Understand that. So the European brought nothing to Africa. We were very conscious people before they came. We knew Chineke. Yes. And we knew Chineke because we can prove it. It's in our names, the names that we give our children, in our deities, in just the idea of Chi na Eke, male and female essence of the Creator, tells you everything you need to know that the African knew God before anybody came to our shores to enslave and colonize Africa.
Thank you.
The gentleman that made the statement, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but you need to go back to school.
Yes, thank you. And I'm so glad that JVS, I think that's his name. UD, you just covered that quite well. We're an umbrella. We're an umbrella under which we Africans can express our spirituality.
Yeah.
And we honor and we respect that diversity. But the one key thing is to know that it's in that diversity that we become one, because it's through all the different ways that we get to honor that one Chineke we're looking for with different names. We're not fighting over it. It is a totally different attitude. We don't have to argue about whose way is better. That's not African spirituality, because Africans never fought. We never went to war because of religion. That's why you can come, if I have my shrine, you can come and pray in my shrine.
Yeah.
We're not going to fight over it. I can come to your shrine and I'll pray in your shrine. That is this spirituality that we're talking about. This is that philosophical thought, that umbrella that we want us as Black people to re-embrace. Munachiso. We are one with the Creator. How we get to Chineke may be different because of our cultural experiences.
Yeah.
But we don't have a set of dogma that if you don't follow, then all hell breaks loose. Our umbrella simply says, we are welcome here. This is how African people think. We're welcome here. I will share with you, I'll share my rice with you. You share your rice with me. If you go back then, they don't do it anymore now because they've convinced us that if you eat with your fellow African person, then that's you contract some kind of disease, right? So now we're using cutlery, we're using this and that. We don't eat together anymore. I mean, everything that made us who we are, that brought us together, all of that is dissipating. I'm not saying, if you're not comfortable with it, so be it. But I'm just saying, like, African people We believe so much in our collective existence that we ate together. That's even spiritual to us. Is that not true? Did I change? Is that not true?
We didn't have a whole lot of these diseases that you have now.
It's true. I nourish my body from the same plate that you nourish your body.
Yeah, it's a way of bringing them
together. We pray together for that food to be blessed. We wash our hands with soap and water. Then we dip in the food and eat together. And when we come together, we say, Ibo Kanwa, hey, to acknowledge each other. We don't just sit down and start talking in a community. We have to acknowledge everybody, put everybody's name out in the universe. You matter. Everybody say, yes, I'm here. Acknowledge me. I hear you. I'm here. You could even, Mama, hey, yeah, I'm here. Family, are you here? I'm here. Brothers, are you here? I'm here. Sisters, are you here? I'm here. So the umbrella of Chiism is we all matter. Our experiences matter. From us to the Creator, there's no distance. Right where you are, Chineke is. And you walk with that power. You walk with the power of ancestors. Yudi, have you ever thought about how many ancestors we have, each individual one of us?
It's infinite.
Thousands of ancestors. I'm not here by the people were here before me, people I don't even know.
The lineages.
Yeah. Ages, you can't discount them. You can't allow them to be discounted. Because the fact that you're alive today, walking this earth, is because they existed. This is our spirituality. Acknowledging them, honoring our elders, respecting them. There are simple things that we practice under that umbrella. That is all part of our behavior, African behavior. We honor our elders. We honor our ancestors. We honor the divine in whatever name you have for the divine. And we believe that we are each other's, we bless each other through each other. And rather, Chineke blesses us through each other. And so how we treat each other is really showing respect for the Most High.
This is
how you know. So if you want to know how do you honor Chineke when you say that we are the temple of Chineke, and then you'll be when you shoot somebody, when you kill somebody for nothing, this is the temple of Chineke you just took out.
Yeah.
For no reason. And if things don't work out for you anymore, if everything you touch crumbles and you wonder, waiting now, I did do this, but you have to, what have you done in your life that is boomeranging to you? That's why we say, Madubuchibeya, we are good to each other. So don't mistreat another person. Don't take a life for nothing. The tragedy of today, African people, is that we're no longer connected to the source. Chineke is elsewhere. It's no longer, our heartbeat is not a reflection of the housing that we are, the shell that we are in support of the spirit of Chineke. It's just dissipated. We're now, Chineke is somewhere else, that we're begging somebody else to take us instead of the concept of right where I am, Chineke is. Now we got to have, somebody has to go pray for us. And then we got to give them money to pray for us. There's nothing wrong with having the DBS talk with you and teach you things you may not know. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that all of a sudden, that connection that the ancestors told us that we have, we've disconnected from that. Now we can only see Chineke through the eyes of someone else's culture. And when we wonder why we're disrespected. If you want to be respected, you respect yourself. Embrace that which is yours. In my village, there are these women, very early in the morning, you see them. No shoes on. Do you know what I'm talking about? They're there to sing. You see them, they are dressed in their white, maybe the same white shirt, same cloth. And they say, nothing will stop me. Poverty, whatever will not stop me. I will walk with dignity, holy boldness to where I need to go. In spite of my challenges, nothing stops me. Because of that belief, I am one with Chineke. I'm okay, just the way I am.
Yep. I define myself. You don't define
I don't
me.
define myself through your own lenses. I define myself through my Chineke and my connection. And so that's the umbrella. That's what Chiism is trying to say. You are okay, just the way you are. And because you're okay, I can worship with you. Because you're okay, I can eat with you. You're part of my community.
We need each other. We
need each other. You see, I would say, DB, I was telling you earlier today how Chineke works, connecting the dots. We had that Kwanzaa celebration, and I needed to use my laptop, and I forgot where the cord is. And it turns out, oh my God, I left it at the center. My concern was, would it still be there? The cleaning lady, did anybody maybe take it away? So when I got there were some women sitting in that space. And I told them, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just here to pick up something, right? And they looked at me, they said, oh, the way you speak, you walk with such confidence. Come and join us. I said, oh, okay, sure, thank you. But I really came just to pick. She said, no. Come and join us. We want you to stay. Well, I didn't have anything else to do. And so I joined them. I am so glad that I did, because I met some powerful sisters that are willing to support what I'm doing. As a matter of fact, the event that we have on the 25th, they're all coming. Had I not gone, and you see what I'm saying, connecting the dots, there was a reason why I left that cord there. I never leave my cord. I always make sure wherever I go with my laptop, I have I have my cord and everything. But that particular time, I left it. I left it because Chineke wanted me to meet these people. You may disagree with me, but hey, that's the way I see it.
That's
because it turned out to be something powerful, and what I learned from them was unbelievable. They're financial gurus, and some of the things they shared with me was like, whoa, I didn't even know any such thing, but I was glad I was there. At that moment, as a Chiist, it didn't care to me, it didn't matter to me who they were. I just saw our humanity, and I learned, and I took what they offered me to add to what I am. I didn't concern myself with what their religious background is. What concerned me at that moment was Chineke led me to my fellow humans to glean something that will help my life. And that's all that was important. That's my spirituality. Madubuchibeya. That day, they were my God. They were God to me. They had the God message, the God essence. I gleaned that from them. Nothing else mattered. Now, I have some places that you go, and the first thing they want to know is, what church do you go to? And if you don't go to their church, you know, have a good day. But it's not that's not who we are. God, Chineke led me to them, and I got what I needed from them, or what I needed to get from them was already set, because that's where Chineke wanted me to be, to learn what they had to offer. And I'm telling you, what a powerful message on finances that I got. That now I'm so excited, I can't wait to enact it into reality. But that was something important in my life. And because my mind was open, because I saw humanity, I saw the temples of Chineke, so to speak, I was able and willing to receive what they had to offer. And that's why it's so important that we all understand that we lack humanity, profound lack of humanity, when our attitude reflects superiority. Matter of fact, we block our own good. We block our own good when we are so focused on me, our way, nothing else. We block our own good. Dibia Chedozi.
Yeah, okay, Dibia. Dibia charger.
Yes, sir.
Okay, man.
Yeah, well, okay, the qual.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, so I just want to chip in some questions. And both us and those listening may choose to answer the questions the way we best understand. The first question I want to ask is, does monotheism necessarily entail henotheism? That is to say, does the belief in one universal God necessarily mean that there's only one way to worship one universal God? If we can answer that question, then that may lead us to understand the much that Dibia and Dibia Charger have said so far. That's one question. Another question I want to ask is, does African notion of collectivism annihilate individualism? Or does it say that the collective is made up of the individuals, but that the individual cannot exist in a world of isolation? The individual can only comprehensively, holistically realize self within the collective. If we can answer this question, then we'll get all that again Dibia and Dibia Charger have been saying.
I will do my best, but I'm sure Dibia will probably do a better job than I will. But I'll take the first
if we
one.
can answer, thank you, sir. So if we can answer these questions, you see, because I will just chip it in because I want to provoke thought while I don't want to begin to spew on it. Because what African spirituality, actually, what spirituality says, and Chiism, African spirituality, what it says is that there is one universal God, but not one way to that God.
That's it.
He said
that's it right there.
He said that's it. No explanation.
There are those who by their legacies have become Oko Sisi Barambara. So by their legacy, their names are synonymous with Chukwu Okike Abiama. And such people have been recognized in traditions as friends of God. That if you mention their name, they can intervene. That is the whole thing that Christianity and Islam have taken and absolutized.
A business.
But that does not say that I, as an individual, I am not an incarnation and a manifestation of that ubiquitous Chi, the limitless Chi, the boundless Chi. And it's not only I as a human being, even the little ant is a manifestation of it in its own way.
Yes.
Mineral, soil, oceans, atoms, cells, every minute unit of the universe is a manifestation of Chukwu Okike in their own way.
True.
But it says us human beings on this planet Earth are the most evolved to manifest the beauty of Chukwokike on this planet Earth. And that's why the Igbo, we acclaim the awesomeness and ubiquitous, beautiful nature of God's Elu Wadia Oyoyo, Oyoyo Elu Wade.
Yes.
Beautiful, the world extends limitlessly, boundlessly. And for us, this God does not live in heaven, and the earth is his footstool. This God is more like Einstein understood this God, our own notion of God, when he came up with what he calls the conservative principle. And a conservative principle is a body with energy at different degrees, latent and latent in it. But these energies have to be activated for their different uses. That was why Einstein was able to solve the problem of motion. Aristotle and Newton, that relied on Christendom and Aristotelian philosophy of the mover to solve the problem of motion, could not. Because why? He reasoned that God, the principal force, was outside the earth and outside the universe it created. And so, with that kind of notion, you can only produce a container that you push or pull. It's either you are in front pulling it or you are behind pushing it. But with our own notion of Chukwu Okike, in which Chukwu, though capable of independent existence, but exists is part and parcel of everything, and everything is part and parcel of it. So Chukwu is both outside and inside of every entity, and is the force driving every entity in terms of motion, intelligence, and in different dimensions. With that, you can build a car, a motorbike, or a bicycle that you can stay on top and ride. With that, you can move on to produce a self-automated car that drives itself, just like Chukwu Okike is. That's what Chiism is preaching. So, because Chiism says one universal God, but many, many ways of reaching that God. Chiism does not say there is the truth. It says, like C.S. Campbell Shutumoma, he taught us from undergraduate. I had a notion, we are looking for that book, that material, we are looking to say many, many, many truths.
Yes.
That is the Chi's position. That which the Africans said long, long, long ago, thousands of years ago, is what postmodernism, existentialism, and phenomenology arrived at just about 150 years ago in the West. That's one aspect. The other aspect is that when the African talks about collectivism, our collectivism is not absolute collectivism. Just like our individualism is not absolute individualism. Our collectivism is more of communalism. And I would like to use the word communalism over collectivism. Because if you use collectivism, non-Africans will understand it in terms of communism. Because in communism, the individual is stifled. In capitalism, individual becomes preeminent. And so class must be stratified. But in communalism, there is class, but these classes are not stratified. These classes are interwoven, interconnected. That is why you find that in communalism, you find the rich living side by side but the poor, and the rich has no power, no right to encroach on the property of the poor. You see that if you go to Rwanda, when you get to Rwanda, you see high skyscraper. In the midst of high skyscraper, you see natives living in their huts. What matters is neatness. They don't touch their house the way it is. What the law is that even though you are living on that thatched roof, that thatched roof must be well made and must be neat. So Rwanda has given us the concept more than South Africa, more than any African country, Rwanda has given us a pure understanding of Ubuntu philosophy. There will be rich, poor, and so on and so forth. That is according to our akaraka, but that does not mean that I have $1,000 and another person have $100, another one has $1, the other one has none. Does not give me the right to buy the world and the space that others will live in, and to even buy the world for generations yet unborn. Chisholm says, no, you are rich. Osadibe sang it. He said, na enyere gị ụba, chi nyere gị ụba, nwoke iwere mete ndị ọzọ mma, ka chi wee na-adị mma.
True that.
That you are rich is that you will use it to endow all those around you so that chi, God's eminence, will be seen through you. So that's what communalism, that is why communalism is about empathizing, sharing. And the whole thing about communalism is complementarity, symbiosis, conciliating and reconciling. Because communalism says in the relationship between opposites, the two opposites are incomplete. Completeness comes through interdependence. But in interdepending, you do not lose your individuality.
Yeah.
But in collectivism of communism, you lose your individuality to the society. In capitalism, individuals want to stifle and overshadow the community. That is why it is in the capitalist system of the West that you have the problems of homosexuality, abnosexuality, transgender. That is why it is rife in the capitalist system, because the individual wants to bring his own abnormalities to the center, insofar as it does not offend the public. But who is the public? So the individual says, okay, no, me, when I stay with my woman, I don't like to do with my woman the normal way, except through the anus. Oh, there, no, when I stay, females don't appeal to me. It's the buttocks of my fellow men that appeals to me. There's just something in me that makes me feel like a woman. And I feel that when I stay, I feel that my anus is just like the female vulva. So please, the man I like, come and put in there. I enjoy it. That is what extreme promotion of extreme individualism leads to. Communalism says, we know there are abnormalities, but please keep it in your home. Don't bring it to the center. We have defined our public. And when we define our public, this is what is acceptable to us. If you want to do your deviant thing, do it in your enclosure. And please, don't let us see it. Because if we see it, we will not expel you, but we'll just quarantine you. You will live in our midst, but we will neither sell or buy from, we will not sell to you, we will not buy from you. We just quarantine you, social quarantine. And so, the hub of communalism is checks and balances, ofonogu. Checks and the world is arranged in such a way that it must be extended. That is why for us, everything is extended. Family is extended. Profession is extended. There is no profession that stands on its own. Every profession connects another profession. Every career connects another career. Every family connects another family. So family must be extended. Why is it that family must be extended? Why is it that profession, occupation, career must be extended? So that your elders, who are the adepts, the masters before you, can always watch you as you grow. So everywhere you are going through apprenticeship. That is why the child can hardly stray, because everywhere you go, an elder is a parent.
Yes.
So we don't leave parenting to a group of people, only parents at home and teachers in the school. So when there are no teachers in school and no parents at home, I can become a pedophile. That's what extreme individualism leads to. Everybody in your own world, creating your own world, creating a cocoon around yourself. Communalism says the only way we will know your beauty is how you play in the midst of others. That's why the symbol of communalism is the broom. And our people have the saying, ukwazi za onekwanyaji, ofunkurazi za kwanyaka. A broom must be made of bunches of broomsticks. And they say one broomstick very easy to break. In fact, you just snap it and it's broken. But a bunch of broom, no matter how powerful you are, you cannot break a bunch of broom.
Yes.
And no matter how sharp the cutlass is, it can't cut a bunch of broom once. So,
has to work.
Yeah, so that's, and we must know something. I will round off here because this is not a talk we'll finish one day.
No.
When we talk about anthropology, Africans are averse to anthropology. Why? Because they say those who came to colonize us, anthropologists, the missionaries, for our information, the administrators, the missionaries had one thing in common. They were basically anthropologists. And they had defined anthropology according to their own tradition.
Yes.
That you have to possess their color and mannerism to be human. If you do not possess their mannerisms, you are half human or less human. So today, the course anthropology is not liked in Nigerian universities, and we don't want to study it. But we forget that every other discipline we study is about human nature, because anthropology is the study of human nature. So if we really want to correct the harm done to us, we must go back to anthropology and develop our own decolonized anthropology. If you like, develop an Afrocentric perspective of anthropology. We must define who the human being is. We must define what human nature is for us by our spirituality and begin to teach it to our children and to the world. That is the way we can rewrite what has been done, because those who came to colonize us, Achebe wrote it. They studied us. And when they studied us, they knew that our communalism entailed that every individual is a strong character. So what did they do? They looked for the disgruntled elements and the weak character and empowered them over and above the ruling class. And so what happened was a coup. Our culture is now swept behind. That's why we do our things, our spirituality, we do it behind. Then we put the church in front. All of us go to church on Sundays, but when the chips are down, we go to the backyard and do our things secretly. You know, that's where there's efficacy. So what has happened to us is that our traditions have been relegated to the background. Only the fewest, like the three of us, who are hardcore intellectuals, can boldly come out and say, this is what we do. Majority of others patronize it secretly. And for this, we have left our culture in the hands of those who don't have the intellectual development to bring innovations into it. How many of them can talk about it the way we are talking about it today?
Not many.
So that's the problem we have. And so what anthropology is one area we must take seriously. We must define anthropology, redefine it within our own perspective, within the purview of our spirituality, begin to teach it to our children, generations yet unborn, and make it something that the rest of the world must study. Now, while doing this, it does not mean we have to teach only our own perspective. We must crisscross it. There must be a debate.
Yes.
Because with debate, the mind becomes robust.
True.
That is the way to overcome dogmatism.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I mean, I don't know what else we can say here today that we have not said already. And I do really, really want to thank all the individuals who were here today. Some of the commentary has just been absolutely beautiful. And you, Devias, you have done your job today. So, Yagazino, thank you so much. Now, based on what we talked about today, the topic of discussion, true peace, Udo, can only be achieved when we look beyond all the false narratives that we have been fed and all the assumptions that the world defines us according to, our place in the world is defined by the wealth and status that we create. And that's the only thing that makes us worthy of being in this world. If we are rich, then the poor person is worth nothing. You don't care what happens to the poor person because you think that this world belongs to you because you have money. You know, without sounding morbid, every last one of us have a date with death. One day, we too will be history. And it doesn't matter if you were rich or poor, you will be history. Depending on what we've done in this world, we'll be remembered. People will pour libations and call our names. Just because we got to the age 80 doesn't necessarily mean that they'll call our names. We call the names of those who have done positive things, who lived noble lives and made it to the honorable age of 80 to become ancestors. So we call their names. We don't call the names of those people who have made it to age 80, but their past have been very shady. That's why when we call pour libations, be careful whose names you're calling out there. You just don't call them out because, you know, they're gone and they reached the age of 80. It is so important that instead of us making wealth the standard for being, that we make kindness, humanity, love for humanity the basis for us walking in holy boldness and calling ourselves whoever what we are. It saddens me when I see rich people walk past poor people who are begging in the streets. We walk past them. Their lives mean nothing because they don't have money. And we have claimed this world for ourselves because we got money, we can go here, we can buy this and this, that, and the other. And yet, one day, all of that disappears, bam, just like that. You're gone. And everything that you have earned in this world goes to somebody else. It doesn't go with you. But people will always remember, not the money you've got, but who you were when you were on this earth, how you made them feel. I don't know about you, UD. I don't know about you, Dibia Chiedozi. Well, there's some places when I walk in, they say, hey, Dr. Simiri, you know, they're excited to see me. There's nothing more depressing that you show up somewhere and this is people who know you and they look at you like, what are you doing here? Why are you here? Why are you breathing? You don't belong. There's some places you go. Usually, I don't know about you. There are some places, there's been some restaurants that I walked in and I said, oh, okay, well, maybe I don't belong here. I'll leave. But I didn't leave because I don't necessarily think I belong there. But the aura of the people tells me that they don't understand what this world is about. That is for everyone. But because of maybe their color or because of their wealth, maybe at that moment, I don't reflect all of that. So their attitude towards me is one of haughtiness. Who are you? But the important thing is, who are you? You know who you are. So you don't have to hang around people who disrespect you.
Nope.
You don't do that. You don't have to hang around anybody who disrespects you. Know your worth. Nobody respects you if you don't respect yourself. We have a powerful Chineke, just like everybody else. And if we African people can come together and embrace the whole concept of where I am, God is, if I may use the word God, or Chineke is, whatever. You are good enough. You are good enough. Hold your head up high and not be embarrassed that you have your spirituality is different from Christianity or Islam or whatever all those religions are. Every religion is good if the objective of the religion is to ensure that all humanity matter, to spread love and joy. That's a religion, if you want to call it religion. But ours, Shiism, Gaudian religion, is about us embracing all that we are and allowing our fellow human beings to express who they are, embrace who they are, be who they are. And because if they can express who they are happier people, and happier people make good neighbors, good citizens. And that's what we want to be. That is what Shiism is trying to create. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you again, Adibias, for being here today. You've done a marvelous job today. And thank you all. Remember to please subscribe to our channel, because we grow when you show the world that you believe in what we're talking about. Okay? Never, wherever you go from then on, from henceforth, never diminish others, because when you diminish others, you diminish yourself.
Yeah, true that.
The Chineke observes this imbalance, and we must challenge the notion of superiority based on wealth or race. We need to correct the misguided beliefs regarding who holds importance in our society. Every life matters. This is what Shiism says. And fostering an environment of respect and equality for all is so essential for peace to manifest as our reality. And so it is. Thank you. And we look forward to seeing you the next time. Day one. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm trying to end it.